hear that song, I just want to quit everything that I'm doing and become a singer, even though I can't sing forever. And like, I could be a singer. I could be a backup singer. And if you guys don't know, I totally was a backup singer for the Disney musical show that's on there. And if you missed that interview, you definitely have to check it out. Guys, welcome 90 Day The Melanated Way. I'm your host, Linda Antwi. We have an amazing show for you today. Can't wait to catch up with Ash from 90 Day Fiance, because I have questions and I know that you have questions. We're about to get some of the housekeeping stuff out of the way, and then we'll pop Ash on and you guys can have at it, I'll have at it, and we'll just have a great show. So first and foremost, wherever you're watching, thank you so much for being here. Definitely make sure that you are hitting that thumbs up, that like, that subscribe, whatever it is. If you have, some issues about being in a relationship with me, which, I don't understand why. Down on the bottom of your screen, you can see where you can support this show. Oh, hey, live chat. Y'all are already acting up. I need y'all to be on your best behavior today. Okay, best behavior. I know I was acting a fool yesterday, and I still cannot get over the fact that some of y'all think I look like Darcy. I'm going to actually ask Ash. I'm going to ask him if he thinks I look like Darcy, because I clearly, and you know what, you guys, I posted it on our social media, and Darcy actually responded, and she thinks it's true. So, I mean, I'm going to have to reevaluate my whole entire life, because clearly Darcy's worth $2.5 million, you guys. So if I'm looking like Darcy and I'm not worth $2.5 million, there's something I'm doing wrong in life. Okay? That's all I'm saying. So let's do this housekeeping. I'll pop up Ash so that you guys can see he's here. Ash, welcome. Welcome. Listen,
Hi.
Houseway. Crystal, I don't know, but even Darcy sees it. She messaged me and she said, I see it. And she said, thank you, beautiful. So, clearly you and I are not seeing what everyone else is seeing. But when y'all said that last night's show, I really had to think, like, really? Maybe it's you know what it is? It's the cheekbones, because I don't see it in the nose, but maybe it's the cheekbones and like the long hair. Whatever it is, y'all see it. I don't see it. You guys, you got mad at me when I said that Jen looked like Khloe Kardashian. You got mad at me when I said that Dax Shepard and Colty favored each other. And so maybe this is I don't know. I think Darcy's a beautiful woman. I'm trying to be on her level. So if I look like her, then I'm definitely doing life wrong, because I'm definitely not worth as much as Darcy's worth. Anyhow, Darcy's amazing. Can't wait for their new season that's coming out this weekend, you guys. Get ready for Darcy and Stacey. Master of Blackjack, I told all of you guys in the live chat, you all have to behave yourself today. We have a guest, and you know how we treat guests. We treat guests correctly, and we're all on our best behavior. So let's all be on our best behavior today. Ash, welcome. Welcome. So excited to talk to you. I guess I'm going to leave my housekeeping for later. Ash, I want to just jump into it. What have you been doing since your season ended?
Linda, thank you so much for having me on first.
Of course.
So what have I been doing? And just before saying something, I think you look like the natural version of Darcy. If ever there is something there, it is definitely the natural version of Darcy. Nothing against it. She's beautiful, but you do look like the version that is more natural, I guess.
The creative QT says, I think they mean the pre-surgery version of Darcy in old pictures. I guess. Yeah. There you go.
There we go. So you're definitely on the right path, but maybe more natural path than anything.
Listen, it's au naturel over here, Ash. So I don't know, but I don't need any cheek implants. I think my nose is okay. I'm still trying to figure it out, but hey, I'll take it. Because I think that Darcy's beautiful.
Yeah, no, she's gorgeous. She's gorgeous.
Yeah,
definitely. But yeah, so what have I been doing? There has been a lot, because it's been nearly close to the shooting. Like, it's been 2 years now. It's been 2 years that this has happened. The first time that Avery came to Melbourne. And since then, with the show airing after a few months later, there was a lot of ups, lots of downs, back up again. So it's been a roller coaster until it balanced out. And so now it's been balanced out. Back to normal life, back to I have a few different businesses, so I'm back to doing them, attending to them, should I say. And yeah, that's it. That's pretty much it. Nothing exciting, I guess. My life is very boring.
That you lie right now.
No, it's very boring.
Ash, you're lying right now, but it's okay. I'm going to let it slide. So let's take it back to 2 years ago when you did the show. What changed for you? Because obviously you're on an international level now. And even though it's been 2 years, you're recognizable and people remember your story. So how has that changed your life and the trajectory of your life?
It has not, personally, for myself as a person, it has not really changed my character, should I say. Maybe there's more resilience that came in. There's more realizing there's good people and bad people in the world, if that makes sense, and just realizing that this is true. It's not like we can't hide from that. But what I realized is that I was hiding from the fact that when I say hiding, I was just trying to create that perfect bubble that everything is great. But that show and being in that surrounding made me understand that no, we have from dark comes light, from light comes dark. That will be always a conundrum that will be never ending. So that brought that more to light. And it was a challenge at the beginning. And it was challenging, especially for my coaching business. It was very challenging.
Yeah, we're about to get into that.
Especially for that side. But then at the same time, it brought me a new perspective. Different people came through, and I met amazing people that we are friends now. And all friends that I had for 20 years, 30 years, they came back on the surface. And there's a lot of good things that happened further down the track.
What were the bad things that happened?
The bad thing is that, I always see the good in people. So it's not like I'm trying to act like that. It's just, that's what I see. I'm like, well, everyone has good and bad. And you can't be always good. You can't be always bad. You will have a balance between both. But everyone has something about them that is actually very unique. So I'm always interested to know that. And in that space, having all those negative comments at the very beginning when the show was going on was quite intense, because I was like, oh shit, maybe I'm the bad person right now. Because you start like questioning yourself. I'm like, am I the bad person? And what am I doing? Is that I should look back to myself. What am I doing wrong that has created that? So yeah, there's different aspects that I had to really readdress.
We're going to address one of our live chat, Ash, if you can see what's going on. I'm glad you can't see what's going on, some of it. But Kim wants to know, why does it say ashtray? And you guys, when we were in the green room and I was talking to him and he popped up and it said ashtray, I died of laughter. And I think that what we don't know about Ash is that he has a very funny sense of humor. And yeah. I think that that's part of his sense of humor. So I think that that's why it says ashtray. But Ash, I'll let you answer that question.
Ash, you know what? I'm in an industry that everyone is always serious. I've got 4 different businesses, and everyone is super serious. I'm always going in. They're always, everyone is so serious. So when I'm out of that bubble, I try to actually not think of being serious, and I try to actually have fun. So that's why when I interact with people, it's always like, hey, let's have fun.
I get it, you guys. Don't be so serious out there, you guys. Live life. So Ash, I have to ask you the question that everyone wants to know. So when we saw you on the show, and I know that your coaching business had to take a little bit of a hit after the seminar, because even to this day, people still make those type of jokes.
Correct.
One, if you could do it differently, because I know being in the industry, a lot of it's sound bites, a lot of it's set up, a lot of it's like, hey, I'm going to give you this. I want you to run with it. And whatever makes great TV, that's what's going to make it on air. But I'm going to need you to explain a couple of things, and I'm going to ask you how it affected your business and what you would have done differently. specifically at the seminar that you had and Avery attended?
Yeah, correct. Okay, of course. Please do so.
What would you do differently?
Oh, okay. So the question. So what would I do differently? Being more prepared, firstly,
Mm-hmm.
and just rather than saying that's the thing. That's the yes man saying. I'm always saying yes, yes. I will do this. I will be able to do everything if that makes sense. And I didn't really actually comprehend the extensity of what I was putting myself in until I was there. Because prior to that, we had a certain amount of time we were spending together. And it was intense, like when you shoot for 12 hours or 10
Yeah.
hours every day. And it got to that point, and I was like, I was not confident at all with myself. I was like, well, I was put in a room that I usually, there was not a lot of people, but I wasn't confident at all. I was thinking, there's a camera, I'm not used to that. There's a different target market, I'm not used to that. Those are not the people that I will talk to, if that makes sense. But whatever came out of that situation was, once I dug a hole, rather than trying to manage that hole, I just kept on digging it, digging it. And that hole became so big that actually I lost perception and my vision of where I wanted to go with that talk. And it became a mess after that.
And how did you dig yourself out of that hole? Because that's something that's out there in the universe forever, right? And this is still your business. So how did you dig yourself out of that?
I always believe that when you have a strong why, you bear anyhow. So what I mean by that, when you have a strong why, you will bear anyhow. So when your vision of the why is strong, whatever comes along, you will have to learn from it. And if ever you've done something wrong, you will just have to learn from it, because you can't really hide from anything. Because I was on TV, I was completely naked in front of everyone, and they saw the flaws. So then you go back, you're like, okay, what can I learn from that? What am I bad at? What can I do better? Because you can't succeed without failing. And that was one of my biggest failure. So what can I learn from that was one of the things that I had to go back and try to actually work out. So,
and did you?
Yeah, sorry?
Did you work it out?
I believe I did.
Yeah?
I believe I did, because I was able to actually, I still am doing my coaching. I do have different businesses that I'm running. So it's been going well. And I'm grateful for, sometimes your biggest mistakes becomes your biggest lessons, which turns into a wonderful journey. And I feel like that mistake was a big mistake of not being prepared, but that gave me an opportunity to learn something. And of course, humility was a big thing. I had to humble myself completely, because
yeah, you're a bit highfalutin, a little bit nose in the air, a little bit. I'm just being real. You had your nose in the air a little bit, Ash.
Very much. I agree with you. I totally agree with you. And yeah, that's it. I have to humble myself in that space, because you can't really move forward without humbling yourself. So
yeah,
you get your ass kicked to humble yourself, and then you move on and you learn something from it.
Absolutely. So Master of Blackjack says, I'm in the minority on Ash at the seminar. He had Avery leering at him that threw him off his game. Do you agree with that statement, or do you not agree with that statement?
Well, I think the challenge was not about only her being there and doing, but she was acting like the way that she had to act. Like, I can't talk for her, but I will talk how I felt, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Prior to that seminar, we had nearly like a week and a half of shooting, which was very intense. And as we went forward, we saw things from each other's perspective that were not great. You start asking questions, she started asking questions. So that was already a build-up of the moment that she was there. But whatever has happened was just an addition for my own, I guess, glass to overflow. And that overflow created a situation where I lost my cool, I lost my sense of direction. So I can't blame the person. They will act the way that they have to act, depending on what they're feeling. I can just manage my situation, so which I did manage wrongly, if that makes sense.
I love that. We have another question from the live chat. I'm just going to read it. Black Shelly wants to know, do you still comfort and counsel women at all hours of the night? And is that technique effective?
24/7. It's amazing.
There you go.
No, I'm kidding. I'm
There
kidding.
you go.
And, well, firstly, I want to say that so most of my clients came from the States and Europe. And that's the thing. Like most of my clients that I get are actually from the States and Europe. I do get a bit of people here, but mostly from Europe and US. So the time difference is massive. Most of the time, actually, if they're texting at that time. Most of the time, if they're asking for help. And we have a program where actually they have a certain amount of text they buy, and they text me, I reply back. So that can happen at 12 at midnight at night, 1 in the morning, 2 in the morning. Not that I will wake up and text them, but that's the reality.
It can happen.
Yeah, exactly. And then the first thing when you wake up, I usually wake up at 4:30 in the morning. The first thing I wake up, I'll do my thing, and then I start doing my getting back to them.
And you know what I do have to say, you guys, is that a lot of you. So what my personal opinion, you guys, is a lot of you guys think from the American perspective, and you think it's either like right now we started the show at 7:00 Pacific Standard Time, which is 10 o'clock Eastern Standard Time on a Thursday, but Ash is already in his Friday. It's Friday afternoon over there. So quote unquote, all hours of the day can be all hours of the day because he's in a completely different time zone, you guys. And when the world actually opens up, and I say this all the time, you guys, travel the world, get to know outside of America, because you will have a completely different experience. And then you'll say, well, okay, maybe all hours of the day is not all hours of the day because everything does not center around the United States. Okay. Juliet wants to know or wants to tell you, Ash, that turning an embarrassing experience into a learning experience takes a lot of maturity, and she respects your perspective.
Thank you, Juliet. And Le Fleur is a French name when I saw that, so it's I don't know if she's French, but
yeah, Le Fleur.
Yeah.
French Juliet, tu parles français? Auntie's advice. Hey, Auntie. Hey, girl. Hey. Auntie wants to know how much of what we saw was scripted or encouraged from production, and how many hours of a day did you film per day?
I don't know if I can talk more. I can talk about the scripting, or I think I will just keep that the script. But I want the script, but the edit. They do edit it depending on what they feel is right for the audience. So it just is pertaining to what they want out of the shooting. But usually in a normal day would be around anywhere between, depending on what they were looking for, 7 to maybe pushing it 10 hours.
Well, there you go. And you guys, we heard Stephanie talk about this a lot. So you're filming reality TV, you can film between anywhere from 12 to 14 hours a day. You actually don't know what's going to make the final cut until they actually make the cut. And oftentimes people are like, well, this is fake. Okay, so reality TV, it's a version of reality, right? So you're going to make it entertaining. You're going to make it the best that it can be. And so a lot of it is not quote unquote scripted, but they give you an idea. Like, for example, we'll go back to the Darcy thing. People say I look like Darcy. If I was on a reality show, then they would be like, hey, you look like Darcy. Maybe you can do a Darcy impression. I do a Darcy impression and maybe I'm not good at it, but it's funny. Guess what? That's going to make the cut. So do you see? It's real, but there's like some suggestions. Correct. That's how it works.
Correct.
So, Ash, are you dating? Because I know I saw like last year pre-pandemic, you planned some picnic. You were like out in some field, a blanket, some girl, and you were talking about your dating life. So what's going on with that?
Well, that was for a friend of mine who had, who still has, I think, this company that she runs, where she does those picnics on the beach. And she just contacted me and she's like, would you like to take some pictures? I'm like, yeah, cool. Do you have someone that you know? And I'm like, I have a very close friend that she will be interested. So she wasn't my girlfriend. She was a good friend of mine. So I didn't have a relationship with her.
I'm sorry. Maybe my Canadian's not coming through. Ash, are you dating?
I am seeing someone.
Okay. Tell us a little bit more about that.
But Um, she's great. She's in yoga. She's a shaman actually.
Uh-huh.
She's in shamanic work, energy work, yoga. A lot of women intuitive energy type of uh, work, should I say? And yeah, it's been good.
What's your type?
Sorry.
What's your type? What type of woman do you normally date besides the yogi,
Baron.
fitness, nutrition girl?
You know what? I've dated, I think, a range of different. When I say women, when I different background, like it doesn't really matter what you do at the end of the day. Because I dated a dentist, I dated a waitress. The dentist was an interesting one, but I don't have a type. Maybe I have a look, should I say?
Okay, what's the look?
More brunette look
Okay.
is usually what I will go for, but surprisingly, the one that I'm dating is blonde.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, so a bit of different, I guess. Yeah, it's a bit different, but it's amazing. It's a wonderful.
How did you guys meet?
Well, that's a very good question because I'll tell you the story. Was it last year in around November? I was getting a lot of guys. So what people don't know is that I run a few different businesses: the coaching, my digital marketing agency, and different other stuff. So I don't know how a friend of mine just gave my number to someone he knew. He contacted me. He's like, you know what? I really want you to do my profile for Tinder. And I'm like, oh, all right. And I was like, are you sure you want me to do that? So he's like, yeah, I want you to do my profile for Tinder. And he was on Tinder and he was on those different apps. And I'm like, okay, cool. And prior to that, I've never been on Tinder. So I jumped on Tinder to try to get used to it, to understand exactly how it works. I was on Tinder for a good amount of time, like 2 months, give or take, or something like that.
So, Ash, you were swiping left and swiping right?
No, but not only that, I was asking questions to the women. So what type of profile do you like? Do you like it? I was asking questions because for me, it was like finding answers without telling them that, oh, by the way, I'm just trying to find, it's a little survey that I'm trying to do here, which is really bad. Either way, that came out. I got what I wanted to out of it. And yeah, so I did the guy's profile, and he surprisingly he was getting more likes, or more, should I say? Is it likes? Yeah, likes.
Well, like
More
swipes,
Swipes.
rights or lefts.
Correct. So
Right.
his liking just increased. So I was like, oh, that's really cool. So then he recommended a few friends to me, and I'm like, well, this is how much I charge. And I started making a bit of a business out of that. But in doing so, I met someone on that
On Tinder?
platform. I met someone there that was like, she was just there like a week and a half ago, and it was the first time we were talking. We got a really great conversation, and we're like, you know what? Let's meet up. And we met up, and I liked her. She liked me, and I'm like, well, let's see what happens. And that's how we met.
I love it. Now, you guys, I don't know if you caught it because I know that all of you guys are my regulars, so you know that I catch everything. But did you all get and catch Ash's sexy voice? Because I caught it, and I'm gonna go ahead and replay it. So when Ash got on Tinder, you guys, and he was doing his research, here's the voice that he used. So, what kind of profiles do you like? That sexy voice? Did y'all hear it? Because I was like, oh, he threw on that sexy voice. And that's why all the girls were like, hey, Ash, hey. Did you guys catch that? Because I did.
I wish it worked all the time, but sometimes it gets me into trouble. I nearly lost my job for that.
Master of Blackjack wants to know, and I didn't pick this up, but he's asking, did the show further strain your relationship with your brother? Master of Blackjack feels that you looked scared of your brother's opinion.
Oh, he's such an asshole. No, I'm kidding. My brother, no, he's amazing. Of course, as you said before, in let's say 5 to 6 hours of shooting, you will take aspects of where the face is a bit low, the face is a bit different. So no, my with my brother we have an amazing friendship. He's one of my best friends. That makes sense. We're very close. And no, it didn't actually. We just now we make fun of it because the other time it was my birthday 3 weeks ago. It was my 40th. So
Oh, happy birthday!
Thank you.
What
And
sign is that?
I think it's the beach sign, the double face one, the Gemini.
Oh, so you know what? Can I just tell you real quick that 80% of the 90-day cast are Geminis?
No.
Yes.
That's why they're so fucked up. Sorry.
Well,
but
I mean, I personally won't take it personal because I too am a Gemini, but we make good TV. I'll say that.
I do agree with you. What's your date actually?
31st, May 31st.
Oh, so you're very okay. I see. 31st.
Yep.
Well, happy birthday too.
Happy birthday to you. But 40 is a big one. So what did you do?
So we had a birthday. My friends had a surprise dinner with all my very close friends, and they just got me to get ready, and they picked me up, and they got me to one of my favorite restaurants, and which is really hard to get right now because we were on a lockdown. So they were found a way to stick in 12 people in that restaurant, which was impossible to do. But yeah, they were able to do it, and yeah, we had a really great time. And,
I love it. Kim wants to know, what are you drinking?
Water.
Hey, C Cruz. Hey, girl. Hey, Crystal. And you guys already know how I feel. You know, we had a reading done here by the 90-day fiance. I don't even know what to call her. Like, what do we call her, Crystal? But anyways, what I'm trying to say is, Crystal, you're not going to come for the Geminis because you already know how I feel about Geminis. You already know that all the hoopla that y'all talk about is nonsense. So even if Ash said what he said, he was just joking. So Crystal, calm down on the Geminis. C Cruz is a Gemini in there. So you all just chill out with the Geminis. Y'all don't know. And if you don't know, you're missing out. You're missing out. We're very entertaining. We're misunderstood for sure. Hilarious. So, Ash, you're dating, you have your businesses going. How's your son doing? He's growing up so quickly.
He has shot quickly, I think, for the past 2 years. Of course, they're at that age that it just it just changes day by day. But he's great. He's doing great. He's on holidays right now, and he's becoming like a little celebrity on TikTok. This morning he texts me and he's like, "Papa, I've got 12,000 followers on TikTok." And I'm like, "When did you do that?" So I was like, what are you doing? I'm like, I checked his, I'm like, oh, 12,000 followers. I'm like, well done, dude. So yeah, he's doing well. He's a funny kid. He's super funny. So what? Just give you a quick idea. Sian is a clinical psychologist. So her work is very heavy, and mostly she's doing work from home lately with the Zoom course, etc.
Yeah.
So she's been handling really intense cases for the past year, and for I think she started taking some supplements that has been helping her with her stress, etc. Either way, I think the supplements were over. She finished having them, but she didn't get a new stock. And Taj realized it. Sian was going off at Taj. I don't know what she was doing, and Sian was just going off at him, and he just stopped. And Taj is super chill. He just stopped. He's like, "Mama, have you been taking your supplements?" And she's like, "Wait a second, kid." I was like, "Here, I'm giving you, I'm doing the moral." And she was like really annoyed. And he's like, "Mama, have you been taking your supplements?" And then Sunny's like, "Why?" "I think you should take them. It makes you feel less angry." So that was his response to his mom, which was, I thought it was hilarious.
It's hilarious.
And the mom couldn't even really get angry with him because it was just a funny situation. So yeah, but he's doing great.
That's excellent. Okay, Ash, we're going to play a quick game because I told you earlier on. And guys, so today was a busy day with interviews. There's a couple of new shows coming out on OWN TV. We interviewed Tracy McMillan for OWN's Family or Fiance. Robin Rowdett. I said that in the interview, you guys, like 10 times. Robin Roberts from Good Morning America has a new show on Disney Plus. And so we did an interview there, but we played a game, and I'm going to play a game because, Ashtray is a relationship coach as part of his one of his businesses. So here is what we do. I'm going to do word association with you, and it's going to be kind of rapid fire. Okay. I'll give you 2 words. You're going to tell me which word is more important in a relationship. And so we'll do an example. If I said picnics or the beach, then you would say
picnics.
Okay, perfect. You have to be quicker than the Ash. You got to be like rapid fire.
Oh, okay.
All right. Okay, so here we go. Partner or family?
Family.
Love or romance?
Oof, love.
Intimacy or sex?
Intimacy.
Couple or happy?
Happy.
Date night or girls or guys night?
Date night.
Parents or kids?
Oh, kids.
Fight or silence?
Fight.
That's it. Those are the questions. Good job. Good job. You did better than a couple of other people today. So good job.
Thank you.
I always like playing that game because it kind of gives you an idea of what people think is important before you like break down the science of relationships, because really it is part science.
Right. Yeah.
So I also want to talk about, and this is going to be a little bit delicate, you guys. So let's all know that this is all just entertainment. It's all TV. The memers, social media, at the end of the day, doesn't mean anything if you're secure in who you are and what you're doing and what you believe and all that stuff. So, you can come for me, and you guys already know that I don't care. You can come for me, it's fine. But I'm going to ask these questions and have a sense of humor about it, you guys, because it's not that serious. That being said, so a lot of the 90 Dayers, Ash, are on OnlyFans. And they're making a lot of money on OnlyFans. Yeah. So much money so that even our little crew over here at the Melanated Way, we're like, we should do like a feet thing. We'll call it like the United Feets of OnlyFans. Something crazy. But there's a lot of money to be made on OnlyFans. And as you know, your ex-partner, some of her photos leaked.
I heard that, yeah. And there's a funny story behind that.
You more than heard that.
No, but there's a funny story behind it, actually. There was a funny story behind it because I posted me drinking wine a while ago without realizing that was out yet. And I started getting a lot of hate. No, I didn't know. It's afterwards someone told me, he's like, hey, do you know that actually the picture was sent to me, the picture of Avery? And I was like, oh, makes sense. And people thought I was actually making fun of that thing. And I went with it afterwards. I'm like, yeah, I'm making fun of that. So when I posted that picture, it was not about her. I didn't know yet that was happening. It's just afterwards that I came
Are you sure?
No,
because
no joke.
That video was hilarious. And I had seen so many different memes and all the stuff. And some of it was like hilarious and some of it was over the top. But your video, without saying much, was saying a lot and it was hilarious. And I reposted it on our page and it was hilarious. And you're telling me that you didn't know at the time when you posted it?
No, I didn't know yet what was going on. I knew that there was something going on, but I didn't see the picture. Because I heard she was doing like something on, I didn't even know that it was on OnlyFans. But I know that the picture was being leaked and I didn't see the picture. It's afterwards that I actually know that, the picture was leaked and I was sent the picture and I saw it. I'm like, oh, okay, makes sense now. But the whole, I think wine was just like, I don't even know why and in what context, but I do remember that I was smelling it. I was like, oh, this is the smell of victory in a way. Not smelling her whatever, but it was the smell of victory. and I think that got misconstrued, that I was, yeah. And when I saw the picture, I'm like, okay, that makes sense now. How that action was connected with me making fun of her too.
Listen, I reposted you, and when I say that was the first time that I actually had, the followers come for me, because this whole channel and like my whole brand and all of that, we're really about like positivity and lifting each other up and all this stuff. But like I have a sense of humor too, and I think that we're all grown people and we're adults. And if those that watch my show know that I talk about relationships a lot, and you have to be able to laugh at yourself. But they came for me, Ash, and when I say like they were all in the DMs saying, "How dare you? You stand for women, and you did this, and you did this." I was like, "Okay, everyone, just calm down. Just calm down." And you know, Master of Blackjack is even saying Avery did an interview on Lita's channel a few months ago. She was really cool about everything. So like, people need to lighten up. Like, just everyone lighten up. It's okay.
And that's the thing. If she wants to do it, she does it. I think what happened is that there's a lady that contacted me from OnlyFans. She's one of those big OnlyFans content producer on.
You should do it.
Oh, it's not my thing. I don't think I can.
You should do it. You should do like a feet thing.
I will be pissing myself all the time. People will not want to see me pissing myself all the time. Like the dude is like always laughing, always. Yeah, I don't think I'll be able to keep a straight face. I don't think I'll be able. People won't want to pay to see this guy just like pissing himself all the time.
You guys, do you think Avery should do? Do you think Ash should do OnlyFans? Like, cause we already know that Avery's doing OnlyFans. Do you think Ash? Let me know in the live chat. If you guys are watching the replay, let me know in the comments. But do you think that Ash would be successful on OnlyFans? And, you know, we talk about OnlyFans here a lot. I want to know what you guys think. Go for it. I think you should do it.
I don't know. I'll put it in my list of things to do maybe before I die.
What do you have to lose? You know, some of these people making 30, 40, 50,000 a month.
No, I've heard that there's a lot of
Master of Blackjack says, why wouldn't you do it? It's free money. Juliet says, yes, do OnlyFans, Ash. Crystal says, yes, he'd be successful. And Auntie, because, you know, our aunties always know what's right. Auntie says,
exactly.
No.
I think I'll go with that advice, Auntie. Thank you so much. I think I will take your advice.
Auntie is like, no. She sounds like my mom, like, just no. I don't care if you're making 40,000 in any type of dollars. It could be Monopoly dollars. You're not doing it.
No. It's funny because my mom was giving me relationship advice a week ago, and I was like, you know, sometimes you're just listening to what she's saying, and then you realize that for the past 10 minutes she's been talking, I have not heard anything of what has been coming out of her mouth. And I was looking at her in this state. My eyes were open. I was looking at her on the phone, and I'm like, shit, I have not listened to anything that you've said for the past 10 minutes. In my mind, this is playing up in my mind right now. And I was trying to pick up the last sentence she said, and I'm like, okay. She said, okay, let's pick that. Let's pick the conversation from where she started. She finished, but yeah, sometimes she don't. Yeah, I don't know. Mom gives very interesting relationship advice, so I don't think she will be happy if I say it.
She wouldn't.
Yeah,
she wouldn't. You'd have to hide it.
She'll be, or maybe she'll be excited. And imagine going to my grandmother. By the way, your grandson is showing his touche on whatever it is on the internet to
your everyone. Mom would be like, I'm so proud of him.
Oh my god. Yeah, it's my dream come true. My son is on OnlyFans.
So Ash, do you see like marriage and maybe some other babies in your future? You did say you just turned 40. So what does that look like for you? Like, what does relationships look like now that you're like a milestone and moving forward?
You know, it's maybe definitely no babies. I think I'm done with that. Definitely no babies. And in terms of marriage, I have you know, there's nothing set, but if it does happen, I will not say no to it if I meet the right person, of course.
How do you know that it's the right person?
You never know until you're actually 10 years down the track and you're still together.
10 years?
I would believe, because the more you get to know the person, if you really believe that, true. Because sometimes you don't.
10 years?
I know. Because sometimes you don't.
So are you saying that you would have to be with someone for 10 years before you knew if that person was the one?
No. It's not that. It's like in 10 years, it's like where you start, I won't say start, but the trust is built over time. You're not,
10 years?
for example, the reason why I
Ash, you're
said
going to
that,
be 50 in 10 years. Like,
I know,
I'm
I
not
know,
age hating, but you'll be old.
I know, but we'll just see what happens. But I feel like it's trust now. It's like I need time to build trust, and I need time for, well, I won't say I need time, me, myself, but everyone needs time to build trust. And the trust is not built in 3 months of knowing a person or a year of knowing a person. The more you get to know the person and the more you can, especially in times of conflict, how you come together to be able to manage that conflict really tells you about the character of the person. So for me, when I said fight is why is because being silent is you repressing the truth to come out. And when you repress the truth is holding in your body somehow, some way, and then that truth can come out 5 years down the track. And when it comes out, it's a freaking explosion. And it creates an earthquake that the other person was like, where does that come from? So I believe that in that situation, a fight which is healthy, when I say a fight which is healthy, is like where there is an argument that arises where you are allowed to be able to express yourself, but the other person realizes that, hey, this is how the other my partner is feeling. I don't agree with it, but I will have to listen to that. I'll have to sit down and listen to what they're saying. And then, of course, come together and try to find a ground of understanding. Because if one person is always wanting to be right, well, then you don't need a relationship. You need to be on your own.
Kelly wants to know, how about 5 years? You should be able to know within 2 to 3 years, she would think.
Maybe she's right. There's no real, I said a number, but there's no real number. It's just what you feel is right. But trust is built over time, and it takes time. Sometimes you can, for example, I had a very close person, a friend of mine that I know that has been married for 20, it's going to be 20 years now, just over 20 years. Separated a year and a half ago, and always trusted the husband. And I'm not saying that, men are like that, because sometimes there's women like that too. But the guy was cheating on her for nearly the whole 20 years. And she came to know that afterwards, but trusted him with her life. But there, the person was doing something that was not right for the relationship. So you never know a person completely until there's a conflict. But in this state, there was not a conflict. It was a massive mistake that cost the marriage. They separated, of course. So I don't think you completely know someone fully, because they will have always something that they will. I guess I feel people will hide something that is very dear to them that they don't want to show. So I don't feel like you know someone fully, and that's how I feel. You don't really know someone fully. And whether it's down the track 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, you don't really know someone fully, I feel.
Okay. So I'm going to have to sit with that for a minute. So let me ask you this while I sit with that, because 10 years is a long time, Ash. It's a very, very long time. And I think that for me, I think that when you're in a long-term relationship and if there is conflict, I agree with you when I said, are you is it fight or is it silence? I think you should fight it out all the time, because when you verbalize and communicate what your issues are, then it's out there and you can deal with it. And you guys can both come to the table and compromise, and you can realize your feelings. Now, fast forward that, I think that whenever there is conflict, it's the same conflict that kind of mutates in different forms as you move forward. And if you don't actually resolve the issue, then you're always going to have that same conflict. But I personally don't think it takes 10 years to realize whether you know someone or not, if that person is the one. I think if that person is the one, you'll know it in your gut. And then over time, you will get to know the person. But you know what, Ash? You change over time. And I think it's a conscious decision to be with your partner over time. So Ash at 30 is not the same Ash at 40, is not going to be the same Ash at 50. But if you decide that, hey, I'm going to live my life with this person, and knowing that I'm going to have to compromise, I'm going to have to put that person first, and I'm going to have to be open and honest, then you know, if you've made that decision, then that's what's going to happen. And you shared that story about your friend and being married for 20 years and all of that stuff. That happens, right? People cheat after a very long time, but guess what? They cheat because they weren't satisfied, and they weren't satisfied just yesterday and the cheating started. It was that same issue that was an issue that was like forming and like getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger over time. So when you look back and you say, oh, like, I can't believe that this person cheated after 20 years. Well, no, that person mentally checked out maybe 5 years ago. And it took them to that moment to then go ahead and break their vows. But had they dealt with the issue when it first started and communicated, it may not have happened.
And do you believe, and I do agree with you, Linda, totally agree. When I said, let me go back to when I say 10 years, I just threw a number there. It's not like.
It's a bad number, Ash.
If that makes sense. It's a bad number. Let me retract back. Let's go half then, 5 years.
Yes.
But I believe that you're right. And there's a lot of things that you say, it's perfectly right. What I would add on that is that sometimes there's something that you said with the relationship when you are with, with my friend, with the relationship that she had. Sometimes it's power that creates that.
Yeah.
The person is in power. It's like, there's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong. And I have to make that clear right now, is the guy is in power. The guy's a powerful guy. He's got options all the time. So it's a virtue to know that you can kill someone but not do it. That's a true virtue. That's when you think about it, a rabbit won't go and kill anything. It's just a rabbit. But if you are a person that knows that you have that in you to go out and kill someone, but hey, I'm not going to do it because this is not morally right. I'm not going to do it, because that will create a situation where it will actually affect people. So men in power most of the time has the option of realizing that, I have my wife at home, amazing woman, everything is great, they have great sex and stuff like that, but hey, I have power and I want to actually, there's people throwing themselves at me. And I think that state of mind is that it's your duty, responsibility to be able to say, hey, great, I can do it, but I'm not going to do it. Yeah. If that makes sense. That's where I was coming from in that space. But I do agree with everything that you said. And I think like there's a few different aspects too at the same time that can come into space. Yeah. When we talk about people in power, not saying in a bad way, but it's just people in power have options.
I agree with you.
And how they exert those options not in a malicious way, but more healthy way, so that they can keep the environment still sane. That's the basis of a good leader, I feel a good person of good character.
I think, and just to jump off of that a little bit, I think that you make a conscious decision what you want to do every single day. So position of power, if you are a good looking person, that you know the powers that you have within yourself, and you make a conscious decision on how you're going to use them every day. And for those people that are married out there, and all y'all that are married watching this, you know that every single day you make a decision to be in your relationship. You make a decision to be faithful in your relationship. You can walk out that door, and when we talk about people saying, oh, the grass is greener on the other side and it's this and this, you know that when you go down to the grocery store or you go and buy gas at the gas station and someone's smiling at you extra hard, or you know how to turn on that little bit of charm, but you make a conscious decision to be faithful in your relationship, that not only takes your power, it also takes character. It also takes wisdom, because you know that you chose to be in that relationship, and you know that that's the right thing to do, is to be in your relationship. And you guys all know what I say all the time. If you don't want to be in your relationship, go ahead and not be in your relationship. There's no need to cheat. Mm-hmm. You both are grown adults. You both can say, hey, listen, you know what? This is not making me happy anymore, and this is what I want to do about it. Yeah. It's okay to do that too. Right? So Kelly said, Linda, you should be doing relationship seminars with Ash.
On OnlyFans or what?
On OnlyFans. Hey, Mom. Ash and I are going to do relationship seminars on OnlyFans.
Gosh, this will be very
Oh my
interesting.
God, my mother would fly out here in 5 seconds. On only who? On only what?
That was
Hilarious. Okay, so let's talk about because I know that my fan base a little bit. A lot of them, Ash, are married and have been married for years, and they give me all the advice. But for the singles of us out there, let's talk a little bit about single life and what makes a healthy relationship, in your opinion. And let's talk about how dating has changed, especially like with the pandemic and a lot of it moving online. And, you know, we talked a little bit of online dating. What advice would you give the singles out there in this new dating world that we see each other in?
Wow, it's a very interesting day. It's a very interesting time, and I think we had a chat about it when we were talking about the Zoom, how you can create or extend a relationship on Zoom, but it's hard to start a new relationship on Zoom, whether the internet, etc. But what I think that can help is, especially from a space of you don't know the person, you know the person, you know what you know about the person through a screen. Is to make sure that rather than wanting, you know how they say what are your what are the needs, what are your needs that you require in a partner? Ask yourself, are those needs that you require in a partner, are you giving it to yourself first? Because we tend to forget, like if you're my best friend, and if you're in trouble, I will get out of my way to be able to help you and find a way to actually to see you smile and less hurt. So I will go out of my way to find a way to make sure that you're better. But then sometimes when something happens to myself, I will not take that step forward to look after myself, or take that step forward to actually say, hey, I need to take a break right now and I need to focus on myself. We don't think of doing that. So maybe in that space, when you ask yourself, I'm looking for this in that person, ask yourself, do I have this inside of me first before I look for that in the other person? Because at the end of the day, if you don't have an orange, you can't give an orange away.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I listen, Ash, I say it here all the time because we cover all the things 90 days. And I always say, you guys, and I know you guys can back me up in the live chat, but I always say this, you can't be broken and come to the table broken and think that you're going to have a full relationship. If you don't work on yourself first, there is no way you're going to be in a successful relationship. It can't, because you know what? When we talk about self-worth, we talk about who we are. If you don't believe in yourself, how is your partner going to believe in you? Right? And your partner, there's no amount of accolades and praise and love and admiration that your partner can give you. If you don't feel it for yourself and you don't come to the table whole, then your relationship will never be whole. I say that all the time. The other thing that I say all the time, Ash, is that you have to have the conversations. And sometimes they're hard conversations, but yes, live chat. The 4 things that I talk about all the time is you have to have the sex talk. I don't care who, what, where, why, when. Sex is important in a relationship, period. And whoever tells you that it's not important, they're lying, or they haven't dealt with their own sexual issues. Second, you have to talk about faith or religion, because that's very important in relationships. Third, you have to talk about money and how you spend money and how you interact with money, because we're all raised differently when it comes to money. But if 2 people are being in a union and walking this life in a partnership, you all better be on the same page with money. So you have faith, you have religion, you have sex, you have money, and children. And my viewers, Ash, they fight me on that last one all the time. But I personally think that you have to be on the same page about children. Either you want children or you don't want children. As you get older, is it okay for your partner to have a child and you not have a child, or both of you have children, and what does that look like? And a lot of my viewers think that that's like, it's okay. Like, it's not, because if you're 40 and your partner is 25, you guys are in different places in your life, and your partner at 25 might say, oh yeah, no problem. You don't want to have more kids, no problem. But guess what? When your partner gets to 40 and they're looking at you like, hey, why don't I have a baby? That's the issue. So I think it's important to talk about. And so what are your thoughts on that? Because
No,
I get a lot of flack on the kid part, but
yeah.
the rest
I
they tend to agree.
I know I agree on many levels what you said right now, especially with the kids, because how I let's for example, I'll take myself as an example right now. How I used to think when I was 20. But honestly, when I was 20, it was exciting to date someone older.
Mm-hmm.
I was always wanting to date someone who is like 15 years older than me or 10 years older than me. So at that time, you don't think of kids, you're just thinking of having fun. But it gets to a point that well, I have one son, so I'm happy with that. But it got to a point when I was 30, I was like, I want to have a kid. It's like it's I want it. I
Yeah.
want to have someone that, whether it's daughter or son, I want to have a kid. And that was very strong. And the people that actually men, especially because I usually, sounds really weird saying I'm in a group of men where we go to the river, we are like in shorts, we're hugging. It's a very interesting, fun thing to do because like you get vulnerable with other men. It's a beautiful thing. So, and they're all in their mid 30s, late 40s. Most of them have kids, and if you talk to them, they're like, it's the best thing has ever happened to them because it brings a sense of responsibility, a sense of accountability. Because now you know that, hey, it's not only about you right now. I need to make sure that they are fine. And when you're
Yeah.
making sure that they are fine, you actually start looking after that what matters to you.
Yeah.
And it changes your perspective of life. It changes your a lot of things. In For me, I see it for the better.
I
And
love
I feel
that.
for men too there, because I know there has been a lot of different challenges with modern men and modern women. It's a massive challenge, and we're still going through it. And no one really knows the answer, and we're still working and trying to understand how to manage it. Communicating is one of the things that is the most important, and trying to get each other's view and trying to come together and find a solution. But having said that, more men are, but the men that I'm around are saying that it's a wonderful thing to have a kid. It's a wonderful feeling to be a dad.
Yeah, that's your
So
legacy, Ash.
yeah,
That's your
exactly,
legacy.
exactly. So no, I agree with what you said right now. So
Love that. Faith wants to know, what do you think of Ed and Colt on 90 Day the Single Life? So do you watch the 90 Day franchise?
no, I don't. I actually never really watched. I had to watch mine because with Strike Back, I had to re-watch what I did. But that's the only time I watched it again. When I say again, it's I had to watch it. But no, I don't watch the other shows.
Are you
Um,
going to be doing any more TV stuff? And are you coming back to the franchise at any point?
well, I just did a shoot with them not long ago for I forgot which. I don't even know. They just told me if you're interested. I'm like, yeah, great. But that was the last one. So I always say that this was a very short shoot for that. It was just, I think, 3 or 4 days. I was doing my own shooting. And no, I think that's it for me. I think that's it for me.
Yeah?
I'm quite happy with that right now.
Yeah? No
Yeah.
Single Life, 90
No,
Day Journey, 90 Day
no.
Diaries.
Well, diaries is fun. Like, there's fun things I will do. Like, diaries is actually really fun. Anything else, I think I will just leave it. Quarantine sometimes was fun because we did a few of them, but I don't know if they did actually show that. But the diary is fun, I know, and the last one I think must have been the diary because it was where I am at now.
So are you done with reality TV, or will you be open to maybe going back to it?
Uh, if I do go back, it would have to be I'm actually the producer of the show,
Okay.
if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's it. That's it. I
Yeah.
think I got my kick out of it. I learned what I had to learn, and I think I'm happy with it.
Really?
Yeah, it's intense because it puts a lot of pressure on many different. I don't think I'm made for reality TV because there's too much things happening. It's
Mhm.
fun, but I don't think I'm made for that. I would love to be behind the scene and putting things together. I really like that, but yeah, that's pretty much where if I had to do and move forward with it, it would be there definitely because I do enjoy the whole production and the whole video thing. I do enjoy that.
So speaking of that, Master of Blackjack is a little disappointed apparently that you didn't have, quote, a nuclear explosion on the show. You kept it all bottled up inside. And so he feels like you let him down a little bit because he wanted to see you go crazy.
No.
I mean, it's Master of Blackjack, it's national TV. He would have to replay that for years and years and years and years and years.
Exactly. Yeah.
Thank you so much for your contribution, Master of Blackjack. I appreciate that. Yeah, here's the thing about, and I think what I'm hearing you say is that you guys, TV is forever, right? So you may have moved on and you may have learned from your mistakes and lessons learned, but some people are still just catching up. So there are places that are just catching up to some of the things that we've already seen and moved past. So for some people that are on TV, it's hard to move past because you're like, hey, I learned that lesson, you know, a year ago, 2 years ago, 5 years ago. And I get that you guys are just in that space right now, but I've been there and done that and I've moved on. And you can say that for anyone. You can say that for singers or for actors who you have your favorite movie and who's your favorite actor, Ash?
My favorite, I love Matthew McConaughey.
Okay, so Matthew McConaughey, I can't think off the top of my head, but let's say Matthew did a movie. It's your favorite movie. You see him in real life and you're like, Matthew, do the line. And even though he did that movie 8 years ago, because he does the movie, it goes to production, then it gets picked up, and then all of a sudden it's out there, right? Yeah. He's years past that. He's done a million other projects, but everyone who loves that movie, every time they see him, they need the line. It's that same thing with reality TV, and I think that that's something that we forget because we get so engrossed in it. But you guys remember that they film a year in advance, you know, and so some of the stuff that they've learned and they watch, they're like, oh my God, I can't believe I said that. I can't believe I did that. I can't believe that got edited in, you know, because you don't see the final edit until you see the edit. So I for one am all for it. I love reality TV, Ash. I do. Yeah. But I do think it takes a specific thick skin, right? Because you're out there and anything you say, that's it. You said it. You can't take it back. People don't see you as human. People don't see you as being able to make mistakes. You said it and that's it. That's all. And they'll rewatch it and think that they know you. And that's not just you specifically, but you in general, anyone on TV. And then that's what happens. So I get what you're saying. It's a rock and a hard place, right? Yeah. Because I think that the platform that you've built for yourself, part of that is being, you know, on international TV, which is great. But there's the ups and there's the downs. So I appreciate that. I get it. So will you be doing any more of these? Because the live chat wants to know, will you be doing any more of these seminars, Ash? And have you done any more of these seminars?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I have done. We've talked about, I've done a few workshops. So I work a lot with men too at the same time. So there's what we take the men, it's empowering men too. So we do a lot of work with men on nutrition because I don't think people know that. I have a degree in nutrition and human science too. So I use that in terms of food, because food is actually what you eat is who you are. Yeah. So we bring all that element into it, which helps a lot. And so yeah, I'm still doing them. And but then my focus is more on one thing at the moment, which is really what I'm enjoying. One of the businesses that I have, I'm really enjoying that, which is taking a lot of my time and which is very creative. It's all about branding. And
about branding?
Branding, correct. So I have a business that brands CEOs in companies, and we have a very niche market on that. I'm enjoying that a lot because we meet people that are very successful, and it's fun to meet them, to see their story, to see where they come from, and they tell you their hard where they come from. And sometimes I wonder, I'm like, fuck, how did you do that? Yeah. Because when they tell you the story, you're like, dude, it's impressive. Yeah. It's amazing. It's amazing to meet those people. And it's, you know, I always believe that I wanted to attract people that are humble, but that are successful, that are humble. And I was able to do that because they are people that they don't doing it for themselves. They want something, you know how they say, grow trees under whose shade you do not intend to sit.
Yeah.
They are leaders like that. They are growing trees under whose shade they do not intend to sit themselves. So it's fun to be around those people because it makes you yourself. They pull you with them, and
Yeah.
I believe you become a better person like that.
Oh yeah. When you surround yourself with good people, like you can only go up from there. I love that. Ash, thank you so much for being here and taking the time to just talk with us and catch up. Guys, we appreciate you in the live chat. And if you're watching the replay, definitely make sure that you are following Ash. Where can they find you, Ash, on social media?
Oh, thank you. So it's on Instagram, the Mind Body Coach. It has not changed. The Mind Body Coach. And just so you guys know, it's on private. So when you do follow me, I will actually just request, and then I will say a yes to the follow. I think that's it. But yeah,
love
that's
it. Live chat, love the interview. They're saying great interview, Ash, and they're saying
so
thank
much.
you, Ash, for being here. Yes, thank you for being here. Thank you
My
for
pleasure.
sharing your story. We'll definitely have to have you come back. We're doing a block party, by the way, at the end of the month. You'll have to come. We're having a bunch of our 90-day family come on. We're doing a potluck virtually, and we're going to have a block party. So you are invited to come.
Thank you.
And thank you so much. You guys.
Linda, thank you.
Appreciate it. You guys make sure to check out Ash, and then we'll see you tomorrow. We have our news and gossip on Friday. If you guys are on news and gossip, we'll see you on Monday's show. Till then, you guys take care. Thank you so very much. Ash, hold on one moment.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys. Good night.
Thanks, everyone. Ciao, ciao.